Like
How come everybody I know who's into Zen is like broke and a hippie?
no, here, look, here's the thing,
Because
right?
they are beyond our earthly needs. All right, welcome back to Back Society. I'm your co-host, Jay, with my other co-host.
Yes.
And you know the other one all the way in Europe.
And C money.
Baby.
Can I change it to C euro?
Whoa. What's up, C
Yo.
Euro?
Let me tell you what, euros are. I make the mistake and be like, oh, it's $8. No, it's €8.
Ooh.
That's like
You can't
$11.
say that. Do they fight you if you say dollars?
No. But like in my mind, I'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, that's only like $5. And then like, but you like expound upon that where I'm like tonight we went and we got steaks and I was like, oh shit, that's a fillet. That's only $40. I was like, that's like a common good fillet.
Yeah.
Now
Nah,
we're talking in the
Or-
50s.
yeah. Yeah.
You know,
You're
like the
That
meal
exchange
just
rate
gets
will get you, right?
exponentially.
more.
You just add 20%.
Yeah.
You know,
One
So
times one
it's,
equals 20%.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do that.
1 times 1 does equal 2.
That's at 20%. What are you talking about?
We're not here to
It's
discuss
not hip
geniuses,
to the
okay?
new.
Geniuses that are way above our thought process in the cosmic plane.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Unless you're unless that's Neil deGrasse Tyson talking.
Look. I just like how he killed him with kindness with it.
He low key
I
did
thought it was,
though.
honestly, I thought it was a great video.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was too. It was too. When someone's
Uh,
deep in that shit, you can't be like, you can't be too condescending, or they just won't listen. I
It was
thought
out of
he did it very
respect.
well. Yeah, it was out of respect.
Yeah.
Respect for his illustrious acting career.
You know.
He is first and
Yeah.
foremost an actor.
But it was like, I will say it was a well done video because like one, it was like 17 minutes, so he didn't like cut anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like when they spliced in everything, and it was like, oh, he actually watched this video. You know what I mean? And him having the evidence too.
Yeah, dude, that's like 8 years, right? Because it was like 8 years. Yeah.
Pretty hard to deny.
Pretty hard
Like,
to deny.
Yeah. I just love like his like things like, oh, this is like your conclusions are just factually wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He called him out, man. And it didn't seem like malicious.
No,
No,
because
it didn't.
I got the feeling too is like he said it too when like new people like try new ideas, you got to have that peer review of like, hey, you might be out of line, you might be reaching type of thing. Like, that's not factually true. And if all this is based off of your statement in the beginning, then most of it's gonna be off.
I hear you. That's my new startup. Startup is reaching something. I'm so tired. I realize I'm just so tired of cords. There has to be an all-in-one solution. I want a wireless transmitter for HDMI.
Yeah,
All
it's called UFX
USBs.
technology.
All USBs. I want a complete wireless solution. So like display ports, HDMI, USB A, C, B. I want it all to be like wireless transmitters or something. I want to work towards it. I want to go up to like Shark Tank and be like, we're just genociding cords over here.
But how much would you sell that for though?
Me?
What if they were like, I'll give you $1
I would
million
like
for
at least
50%?
2/3 of the cost.
2/3 of the cost?
Yeah.
But what if they want 51% in your company?
51%. That's if I even want them to be in it, because it's already $1 million idea.
Yeah, but if they're gonna give you money, if they're gonna invest in you, they want stake.
That's tough. I don't know. I haven't.
I
Really
mean, aren't there wait. Aren't there already wireless HDMI?
I want one that's easily produced and can be widely available, is cheap, and so it can usher in a revolution.
But like, if you all right, hear me out.
Okay.
This isn't a plug and play situation, but the fact that you can just share your screen onto any smart TV on the network you're on is already wireless.
No,
and it's already high def.
See, you've used the wireless mouse before, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I got one right now.
You know those little USBs that come with it? It's like very
Yeah.
tiny, like that. That's what I want it to be. I want it to be for all your different solutions, and then you can just plug it. It's like an HDMI cord without the cord, basically.
So you want it to be an all-in-one universal. Doesn't
No,
matter
no,
what
no,
it
no,
is.
Sorry, wrong words. I want it to be everything. Like when I say all in one, I want for each different type of like input and output. But it's not going to be like just one fits all.
Why? When you
Because you still have to, because each cord, let's say like HDMI or USB-C, it's all
No.
you're all going to have different bandwidth, latencies, a certain amount of traffic you can handle.
No, here's what you do. So one, it doesn't really matter about the latency or anything like that because like at the end of the day, what meets all that criteria? USB-C, right? So what you do is you have a hub with all your different types of ports and you just have one USB-C connector that you can just plug into your computer and then you have your little wireless hub that you can plug in the rest. I mean, you don't need a different one for each.
I have that right now on my setup.
So just a US. Okay, so
because USB-C already handles all that.
So USB all in one, but like for you can have like different configurations you can pop on top. You know, let's say if you can only accept a USB like A or something like that, you can just pop that on top. But it's
then you need to buy a new computer and welcome to the future.
Huh?
You
No.
Apple piece of shit.
No, because
because this is me. This is my war on cords. I want cords.
no, they
to
have
go
an
away.
adapter. They have an adapter where they put like you can have the USB and then they have like a little attachment with the C. Like
That's what I mean.
No, but I'm saying is like yeah, but all you need is a little USB-C
Yeah.
wireless thing. And then the hub where you plug in all your wires.
I like that. I like that. That's it. Yeah.
Only that way you don't have to have a different, you know, little doohickey for each wire. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
The hub has all your connections, and then it just talks to a miniature USB-C, which you could plug into an adapter if needed. But really, at the end of the day, you need a USB-C because it's going to have the, everything you want. Because once you start adapting it, it's going to kind of neck it down to whatever it can adapt to.
I just envision where you get those like USB bricks where you can plug in multiple USBs. And I can just toss it across the room and everything is still connected.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But also, like, at the end of the day, everything is just going to be wireless anyway. Like, cords are going away. Cords are a thing.
Usher in that one thing that makes it that's the death knell.
They already are.
It's not here now.
It's called Bluetooth.
Usher it in.
Not happening, is it? It's a slow burn. This is emphatic. This is revolution.
No, it's not. Because think about it. Most of the people are just using their wireless internet. It's all Wi-Fi. If you're on the same network, you can just share. You can stream.
What is Wi-Fi anyway?
Wireless fidelity?
Well, I mean, like, how do you
8211?
How do you invent Wi-Fi? How do you do that?
Well, I didn't, so I have no idea.
Because I mean, like, all right, say like. But you get where I'm coming from, like, bro, like Wi-Fi is invisible. Is it not? It's like how do you come up with Wi-Fi?
You need to go on Joe Rogan and ask these questions, bro.
This is the kind of guest he's looking for.
But
what I'm saying, like, this can convert any device into basically a wireless device. Like, I have my Rodecaster Pro, and it has two USBs and it has two USB ports, one for power and one for plugging into my computer. I want to be able to plug this little doohickey in, and then have the
plugged in.
Anything can be made wireless. Anything.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then, like, my monitors, I have like the HDMI configuration one, so I can plug that in. And guess
so you want two dongles, one that plugs into one that plugs in the other, and it's wireless.
Right. Two small things you can barely even see.
I'm pretty sure they already have that.
Expensive.
What's it called?
It's expensive.
It is expensive, but I don't even know if it's
and
at the quality we want right now. I mean, wires are just so
annoying.
They suck. But at the end of the day, they give you the most throughput.
Dude, this is America.
But hold on though.
We're a
How do you
meritocracy. We
how can you
reward
make
innovation?
how can
And
you
this is
make
like something that can be innovated.
how can you make wireless more throughput than wired?
That's a good question.
I mean, you can at the right frequency, right? And then it's all about data compression.
So maybe
So really, what you need is like, okay, think about it. 2.4 gigahertz can pass through walls, right? 5 gigahertz, not as well. You go up in the band. Now we're talking about something that has probably it's a bigger band. It can support a higher volume of data, and it can't travel as far. But you don't need it to travel as far,
no.
right? So like
Like-
if my mic is right here, maybe you want a higher frequency in order to transmit a larger piece of data, and you don't require that distance. You only need 2 or 3 feet. So really, you just got to find the right frequency to do that at. But at the end of the day, what the issue is the licensing of frequencies. The reason that certain like 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz is common for Wi-Fi routers is because it's free. Nobody has to pay a license for it.
Mhm.
The different frequencies, like for like your telephone or like your cell phones, like at the 900 megahertz or the 1800 megahertz, or once you get into like the LTE and 5G, that's all licensed by the FCC in the United States.
Mm.
That's down the road, man. That's down the road when we're just like, I'm sitting there just like in the Apple conference, with the big screen behind me, and I'm like, I got my turtleneck, and I'm like, the new revolution of this wireless. You hate having to like charge your phone, right? Have to sit by the bedside. Well, you just plug this in, and then you plug this one in into your phone, walking around.
Now you're
just charging.
transferring energy.
Yeah. Future. The future.
That's
5G.
That's some
6G.
Tesla thing right there.
The future. Innovation, baby.
Yeah.
Innovation.
You got to find the right frequency. Find the right frequency.
You can do that.
I mean, it exists technically because wireless charging exists. So
There you go.
now you just got to find it for a distance.
Exactly. This is
But imagine if like
$1
it was just.
industry.
But here's the thing. Well, really, it's $1 billion industry. My issue is your prototype. Somebody walks through that little line of sight and gets fried
Yeah.
because they don't realize it's a wire. Your kid dies because you're charging your damn phone.
Mhm.
Got to be careful.
Got to be careful. But this is a down the road thing. This is peak.
Why don't we? What about lasers?
Elaborate.
I mean, just saying, like it's a directed source of energy. You can, in the right conditions, you can see it. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the gap fill until it's completely wireless. Maybe use a laser with a directed energy beam. Boom, boom. Good to go.
Yeah, but how can you move around the house?
You'd have to stay in one room
Yeah, you would
This-
still.
with an
Hey.
unobstructed like sight.
Increments, right? This is like little steps, step by step.
Right.
This is step by step because I don't know about you guys, but like, my phone is at like 5%. Still want to go on it, maybe write some notes for next week's podcast, And,
No, I
Dude, my
understand.
my phone lives at 10%. It's painful.
So you would buy something like that, right? If it worked and was safe,
If it was cheap.
and if it was cheap. I get it.
But I'm pretty
And not
sure,
to
like,
mention, like, even if it's not $1 billion like company idea product, someone's gonna buy it.
The Chinese.
I
Sell
think you
that
should
on
patent
Temu.
it.
Dude,
You should patent it right away.
I don't think so. I'm not the only one that's at this idea.
No,
I
it-
don't have a
No,
design.
it's already in the works. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Just gotta beat them.
Yeah.
You don't
no,
think
but
Sony
if you patent it
or
while they're in the works, still get a chunk of money.
but you have to no,
have a
but you have to
design,
patent
please.
exactly what they're trying to do.
Theoretically, it would work, right?
It's not just patenting. It's not patenting an idea. You can't. It's hard to patent an idea, right? It has to be like useful. You have to have an explanation of how it works. You got to actually understand it.
We
You
just
can't
did
be
it.
like, the patent isn't all right. From point A to point B, there will be a wireless connection that can charge and transmit data.
Stamped it right there,
That's
man.
That's not a patent.
Stamp right there.
Relax, Terrence. Relax.
All I know is it's like, I'm gonna make this. Next thing I know, I got a guest spot Joe Rogan and be like, Joe, I just saw a gap in the market. I was really
I identified a gap in the market.
Yo, who was the last guy
by
he
my
had?
course.
Crazy dude. Billy
Billy
something.
Carson.
Oh my god, that guy is. I'm gonna go out and say the definition of a grifter.
Yeah.
I didn't see
Like,
it.
I don't believe a word that guy says. He has no idea what he's talking about.
What'd he do?
He talks about
He's very much he's into like the Anunnaki and like ancient
Yeah.
history and civilizations,
My
but
favorite.
he's zero proof. Doesn't even try to prove anything. It's all like, well, this is just it, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no questioning of anything.
Take my word for it, bro.
yeah.
Exactly. And he came out of nowhere, and like he's kind of smooth. You know, he's articulate.
No, he's been around for a while.
He's been around for like maybe a year or two.
No.
Yeah.
He's been around for like 5-6 years.
No
That's when-
way.
No,
Yes.
this guy.
Yes.
Not at the level he's at now.
And I love these theories, these theorists. What's his
No,
name again?
And
mean,
I'm pretty sure he was it Billy Carson? Is that what it is?
Yeah. No, he has been around for a while, but like you say, like it's kind of hard to believe because he's so like right. You know what I mean? Like, or he comes off like he just knows everything. So it's kind of hard to be like,
Yeah, he comes off as like this is the end all be all.
yeah,
Yeah, forbidden knowledge. Yeah,
forbidden knowledge. Yeah.
that's it.
The
Yeah.
first thing
Yeah.
that pops
He's-
up is Billy Carson is even dumber than Terrence Howard.
He's
Well,
been
yeah, he is.
he's been around that space for trust me, I know. He's been around for like 5-6 years.
Trust me, I know.
Trust me, I know.
That's not what you
He
should
had
be
his
telling
own-
people.
He had his own show on Gaia. That should say a lot of things right now. Like
Yeah, but Gaia has Gaia been around that long?
I would say for like 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
God, this,
The
Oh,
only-
okay.
this man
the
has
only-
1 million YouTube subscribers. What am I doing with my life?
He has 1 million YouTube subscribers.
Million?
I mean, like, he's been around for a
16
minute.
he was on Gaia. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But also it says on his LinkedIn that he was a high school basketball coach until 2011.
It's always
He's-
sports guys. It is always sports guys. What is with
Yeah.
this? Like sports to ancient conspiracy fucking pipeline that I am unaware of.
DTE.
I guess so.
Concussions, bro.
Dude, I really guess so. Like
But he's also, you know what's weird about this guy though? He's very much into like the forbidden knowledge and stuff, but he's also like kind of a self-help guru. Like how to be a millionaire with like no work.
I'm gonna start the Anunnaki like self improvement method. This is
Well,
what-
no, here
This is what
here
the
I'll tell you.
gods do to become
Here, I'll-
godly.
I'll tell you, right? So like because when you start like working on yourself like internally, you come across like, oh, there's a lot of things in the mainstream that go against how you should self-help yourself. So like it's a lot of like speculation. You stop believing in a lot of stuff because when you try to grow like your inner self or like just a lot of self-help is completely the opposite of what like main people do. You know what I mean? So you low key like you just stop believing in like mainstream stuff.
I love
Does that kind of make sense? Like
I mean,
Like-
I see where you're coming from, but then at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's like, well, to me, at the end of the that's such a weird thing because like if you are pushing aside what is considered mainstream, quote unquote, and it doesn't help you, why is it
Yeah.
helping other people?
But-
Does everybody, or is the mainstream just 100% wrong? And is everybody wrong? Or are you just wrong?
Right. I mean, like, no, that's like okay, like for like religion, right?
I see what you're saying because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm awakening. Like this doesn't work for me. It's not individualized.
No, no, I understand, like, for religion, right? Like, people, they go to religion, right? And even though some people will be like, "Oh, it's a cult," they're just trying to take money from you, but then you, like, look a little deeper and you're like, "Well, there's actually good people here, and they're actually doing good things." It's like the bad with the good or type thing. Like, it's like some of the teachings, like, if you, like, question the Bible and stuff like that, you're like, "Oh my god, this is how do people just go along with this?" But then you're like, "Oh, well, they do good for the communities." You know what I mean? They actually have, like, hope and faith and stuff like that. So not all of them are wrong, it just works for you, like you said, like but there
Yeah,
is that
There's
yeah,
no like one size fit all for anything, really.
yeah, there is
but you can
even
have
when it
good
comes
people in a bad organization.
yeah, good
Like you
people
could be like, yeah, like
yeah,
oh, this is great. I know so many good Catholics, not the ones that touching little boys, but like the
right.
rest of them seem all right.
Yeah,
They're
no,
alright, you know what I
have you heard of
mean?
this guy named
Not this
Oscar Singular? I mean, it means
institutionalized.
like they're all
Uh,
good.
yeah. So like, but also I would say like, hey, just because they're a good person doesn't mean they're a strong person.
Right.
That's true too, and, like,
Maybe they're a good person because they don't know any better. Like maybe they're like, they're like, oh, this is what I'm taught, and because you see them as a good person because they're able to implement the teachings that you believe in because they're easily brainwashed. What about
oh,
that?
oh, right, and okay, so how I got it alright, so I want you guys to help me read this book, Think and Grow Rich, right?
Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
So in this book, you're gonna find out, like, a lot of the teachings is the complete opposite. So you can kind of see where I'm coming from, and you can see where, like, other people are coming from. It's just it's just the opposite of just how you grew up and stuff like that. Like what
The
schools
opposite. Wait, I don't. Give me an example.
like okay, like one of the things in Napoleon Hill, he'll talk about how the brain is an antenna, right?
Okay.
Basically, he's saying like you like how like telepathy, for instance, right? Or insight or inspiration or flashes, right? Um
All those are different things to me.
right, but they're not though. It's just like your brain.
Telepathy and insight are two different things. Those are the same thing.
If I had telepathy, I'd be reading your mind right now.
Yeah.
No, no, because it's how you receive it. It's a receiver. Your brain is an antenna, right? It can receive information, right? So like if you have like a flash of an insight, it probably came from like something from like a higher consciousness or something.
So
You know
you're
what I mean?
saying like inspiration is given to a higher being that's transmitting ideas into your brain.
So there's a muse.
Yeah, pretty much like a muse. Okay, I'm gonna throw Tesla in here. So like Tesla believed like the body was it was like a Tesla coil, right? And if you have like two Tesla coils like near each other or something, you see the like little electric thing connect to one another, wireless. It's kind of like that. I don't like I can't really explain it, but that's what
I
it's
mean, I
like.
understand what an antenna is. I think most people understand what an antenna is. It's something that
Yeah.
is standing out there receiving information. But at the end of the day, is your brain an antenna, or is it just is that your CPU that's interpreting the data that you're intaking anyway? I feel like your eyes, your body, your sensory organs are the antenna. Your brain is the computer that interprets that data.
That is true. That is true. But there's
How is
also
what But, that's the thing is like then that goes against what everybody else is saying, how you can download that information into your brain
mm,
from the higher consciousness,
right,
right?
because okay, then you're right. So like
So how
this is
can it be an antenna and a computer at the same time?
because there is so we like there's also the thing in the book where there's a sixth sense, right? Most of
So now
the
you're
most
just adding things to make your stuff right.
no, no, that's what it's in the book. It's in the sixth. There's a sixth sense, that intuition.
Okay. What's the sixth sense? Okay. Intuition is now a sixth sense. Okay.
I mean, what is intuition?
I don't know. I'm just
That's
saying
what-
that's
and
we're
that's
just
and
labeling
that's
it the sixth sense.
Yeah, so like the six. I mean, that's what people say.
Sight, hearing, taste, feel. What I don't remember the other one. What's the fifth one?
Hold on, smell.
Smell, yeah. And then
Yeah,
intuition.
and then intuition. That's the sixth sense.
Look, I've
And
seen the
then,
movie. I know what a sixth sense is.
but here, if you get in, but if you get into Zen, right? If you get into Zen, they will tell you to ignore all the senses and just dive deep within.
To include your intuition.
Yeah.
But if you exclude your intuition and you ignore it, then doesn't that defeat the purpose of the antenna?
Well, no, because it well, yeah, it does, but
He's
it
really on this logic kick from last week.
no, 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 no. No. Okay, so for instance, all right, so like when it comes to Zen, right? What you do is you don't interpret any of the senses and you just accept it for what it is. Like it is what it is. Like you're walking, say you're walking, right? You want to be able to feel the air around you. You want to be here present. You hear birds chirping, but you don't give it any identification, right? You just, it is what it is. What's happening is supposed to happen. It's happening. That's it. Whatever arises is meant to happen. That's what it is. The more that you become like present in the moment, you take your focus off your mind. So like a lot of people would people that suffer from like anxiety or depression, their focus is either in the future or in the past. But when you come completely present, right, you separate yourself from the mind and you start using the mind more as a tool than identifying as the mind. Like for instance, right? Like what Zen will do will break your identification. Like if I was to be like ask you, "Who are you?" You'll be like, "I'm Chris. You know, I'm in the military. I do this." But those are all just labels. That's not really who you are. And what Zen does, it breaks that identification.
Mm. Yeah, but why can't those labels be part of who you are? Just because it's not your full self doesn't mean it's part of you.
Yeah.
I like to say that. They're like, oh, these are just labels. They don't really mean anything, but they obviously do mean something.
No, they do.
Because if you can't put meaning into those labels, then what's the point of having labels?
Because one, it's like so when it comes to Zen, like they consider that as an ego, right? Your name is your ego. The label that you do is your ego, and the ego is just an illusion. It's not really who you are. Once you break that illusion, then you're able to, use those labels more. You have more control over those illusions than they have control over you.
Is this really part of Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah.
Really?
How do you grow rich from that? I feel like the ego is what drives people to become rich.
I mean, it can, but also like it can, but it's also but we're talking about Zen right now,
Because
right?
what you just described is somebody who has no drive. They're living in the moment. They're living to live. They're not living, they're like almost like just living to exist. So where's the drive there to become rich? You don't need to at that point because you don't have an ego, because you don't have a sense of self.
Well,
So why would you need to become rich?
everybody has an ego because, like you said, it's just part of you, but it's being able to separate between the two. It's that separate from. So it's to separate from like that peace. Like you can have that peace inside of you, but you can also still have the drive. You're not letting the drive you. You are having the drive. You're using it as a tool, whereas people identify as it, and it drives them. It's like there's a saying. It's like the mind is a better slave than a master. You know what I mean, or something like that. Like it's better to master your mind than be a slave to the mind. It's flipping that dynamic.
Yeah, but I feel like if your mind is driving you, you're not becoming rich anyway.
There's a
If your mind's running the game, I feel like to me, those are the guys who become alcoholics, who like kind of live this like really like depraved life because they're so caught up in the material world, where the guys who become rich are able to utilize and harness their ego in order to
But that's what we're talking about. Harnessing it to become rich.
I don't know. It's just there's so many things when you start to bring in Zen and separating yourself from the ego.
Well, it's because in order to harness it, you have to
I'm just
identify what
saying,
it is.
but I'm saying in Zen, it seems like you just disregard the ego. Where these guys accept the ego and they just run with it.
No,
Well, okay.
when if this book has like Zen and what you're talking about, like huge spirituality aspect to it, what does rich mean to Napoleon Hill? Is it monetary? Is it rich of his body?
That's a good.
Well,
Yeah.
he sets it down. He says it's it's about rich is like being happy, peaceful, and being abundant.
Okay, so it's not really like monetary.
It is monetary too. I
Or
mean,
monetary
that's
is
what
like just
abundant.
a concept. That's
You can have it.
rich.
You can have an abundant mindset. I
Yeah,
guess
but
what
what's an abundance of money? Yeah, are you rich in if you're rich in abundance, you could be like you said, a mindset, life, happiness. Like you can be abundant in everything. It doesn't say anything about money.
it comes down to is that you are the captain of your fate. You are the master of your soul. You're able to choose. You're able to make those decisions. Whatever you want, you can have it.
I feel like maybe he wrote this book
He wrote it in the
and people are,
1930s.
It's an old,
and people are
it's an
trying to
old
apply
book.
it to different things.
Yeah.
When he was probably just talking about, thing to become rich just in life, more so about how you experience life and not how you accumulate wealth. It's not about rich in the sense of money. It's about rich in the sense of experience
No, it's about
and livelihood. I've never read the book, so like,
right. No, I understand. No, he talks about rich and being money and stuff like that. I mean, like he talks about like, decision, desire, organized planning, having a mastermind group where minds come together with a collectively, you know what I mean, and putting
so it's a
to one goal.
communist.
No, it's not a communist.
That's what you described the communist.
If this was written in the 1930s, I mean, like
A good chance he was a commie.
One
You literally just laid it out.
one mind is better than two minds is better than one.
I mean, like one part
Sure.
is better than two.
Right.
Yeah.
When you have a board, a CEO
but not as good as
board,
Stalin's.
when you have a CEO board, that's you guys want to have the same goals, the same mindsets.
Well, yeah, that's what the board is for.
Exactly.
I disagree. I think the board, they want a diversity of mindsets in order to drive them forward. If they all have one mindset, they could all just fail because they can't see anything that's outside of their field of view.
What are you talking about? A board
And that's
full of
I mean but that is true too, right?
Their goal, they might have the same goal, but they might have different views on how to achieve that goal. Those are two different things.
But either way, they still want to hit the goal, right? The mindset is to hit the goal.
Maximize the profits for shareholders.
Yeah, but you're all about the commies because you want everybody to think the same.
I don't want everybody. No, because if you think the same,
I didn't realize
you're
S
right,
stood
there's
for
no growth.
Stalin.
There is no growth.
Look, S stands for Stalin, C stands for Commissar.
But no, this would be an interesting read. But no, the Zen thing is pretty dope though.
All right, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna download it right now. Can does Napoleon Hill read his own Audible? Oh no, he's dead.
He's
That's
dead.
Right. Where's Audible at?
Let me Google him real quick, see if he's still around.
A lot of you know what though, a lot of people say he didn't interview all the people that he said he interviewed.
I want to see his political position.
What do you mean?
Real quick.
So like he said he interviewed Andrew Carnegie.
He's an Ayn Rand type.
Oh, interesting. Ayn Rand type, huh? All right.
What does that mean?
Now you're speaking my language.
Hyper.
You don't know who Ayn Rand is?
Mm-mm.
Atlas Shrugged.
Mm-mm.
Big fan of Andrew Carnegie.
Oh my! I freaking hate Andrew Carnegie.
I know.
That's
You
the
re-
dumbest book I've ever read, dude.
Oh, how to win?
Was it?
influence.
Yeah,
Which one? The one about like philanthropy and stuff?
the one that about how to be a bitch.
Hey,
But
he's
he-
Scottish. You know, we were just talking about Scotland, how great it is.
Think and Grow Rich. Here we go. All right, 9 hours and 35 minutes. Oh, it's just part of. I can just add it. That's free. That's how good it is. It's free.
Apparently, he inspired a few books from Ralph Waldo Emerson, which is funny.
That's interesting. You know what's crazy is this guy has more ties to like actual like philosophers, modern day philosophers, and people of matter than your boy Walter Russell and his fake connection to Tesla. Isn't that crazy? This guy actually did something. This is awesome. It's good to see.
I mean, dude, I just heard of Walter Russell on the podcast. I don't know this.
And
guy.
you went all fucking in. You went all in. Tell me I'm wrong.
Bro, I just said.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Does Walter Russell know who Nikola Tesla is? That was it. That was it.
And it was of course he. All right, whatever. We're not going to end this fight.
I want you to know, I looked him up on Google, and one of the things people also ask, what was Napoleon Hill known for? Oliver Napoleon Hill was an American self-help author and con man. He is.
Oh.
He is.
Oh man.
I don't think he's a con.
They look con man was just kind of thrown in there as a treat, it looks like. But that's his description in Goodreads.
He's not a con.
And that's what it says. It says self-help author and con man. That is so fucking fun. He's from Virginia, by the way.
Well, first of all, all right, I will say this. Gizmodo has called him the most famous con man you've probably never heard of.
Oh my god.
That's a very also whatever Gizmodo says, I just kind of take with a grain of salt because what a shitty organization they are.
What is Gizmodo again? I've never heard of it.
They're just that internet publisher. They like, you know, they were all about like technology and stuff. Like I feel like they started out legit and then they just turned into like a BuzzFeed.
Oh, kind of like the Verve and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like they started out as a legitimate like science and technology like kind of website, like Wired, but only online. And then they just like ate it up with like clickbait headlines and just became like BuzzFeed and the Verve and all that bullshit. So like, you know, it's just it doesn't agree with their own sense of self or political identity. So now they're a con man. So I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt. And I will give him a chance, but he's also probably wrong.
No, I mean, no, this is good because I know if you guys, you know, dissect it, it will honestly help my understanding of it better.
Yeah.
You know,
his prevailing thought is philosophy of achievement, and it was the responsibility of every human.
Hey, I think that's a worthy endeavor.
I think it is too.
You know,
he does have a book called Outwin the Devil. I like that book, but it's like him holding a conversation with the devil. It's like a Q&A type of book.
That's kind of like a common trope amongst philosophical writings.
Yeah. I mean,
that's not unheard of.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever heard of it. I mean, like
a lot of medieval or like Middle Ages, like philosophers and stuff, they wrote a lot of things about like, you know, talking to the devil.
Think of it in the biblical sense, right?
Yeah.
Jesus was in the desert for 40 days and he talks to the devil. It's a very common thing.
Have you ever read
Paradise about
Restored?
Oh, good law. I like Paradise Lost, but I've never read Paradise Restored.
Paradise Lost is far and beyond superior, but yeah. Because it's like restored is just like, oh, okay, Jesus is right. Okay, Jesus is right again.
Paradise Lost was kind of a hard read in the original
500-year-old
English. It took me a while to get through it, but it's cool.
I rather liked it.
Yeah, I never read Restored, but like, yeah, the conversations with the devil is a very common thing of like how to like approach an argument, right?
Yeah.
Like who are you gonna, who's the devil on your shoulder more so than the devil himself?
Right. Right.
But then we
It's
also anthropomorphize the devil, right? Because like he's just going to tell you which you kind of already know, and you're already kind of making
Nope.
those decisions without talking it out.
He's,
Well, do you
he's
know-
trying to egg you into he's basically there just trying to egg you into the temptations you already have.
No, I mean, like in that book, he was talking about, how most people are like drifters, like drifting. They don't really have that single aim for a goal. They drift. What else does he talk about? He talks about food, how like if you eat certain foods, it'll mess up the chemistry in your body, which gives you like which meshes up your brain or something. He said like if the devil said like if somebody was to open up their intestines, that it would smell worse than the sewage system and all that because your intestines and all your organs are all connected, so it like does something to your brain. What else does he talk about? He talks about a lot of things, but I read that book like 10 years ago.
Think and Grow
Yeah, no, Outwin the Devil.
Outwin the Devil.
Yeah,
Yeah, he used to have a lot of his books, I recall.
dude, it was a phenomenal book, honestly.
I didn't know
Like,
people considered him a con man though. That's new to me.
no, that's actually kind of recent. That's when that started getting recent because I think they started I think people were looking for proof because I guess like Dale Carnegie or one of the Carnegies never mentioned Napoleon Hill in the autobiography. Yeah, somebody did like an autobiography on Andrew Carnegie, and Andrew Carnegie never mentioned Napoleon Hill.
Well,
But
I mean, the book was written in 1930, right?
30, yeah.
Yeah, 30. Carnegie died in like 10, 20 years before that.
Right, but Napoleon Hill said he met Carnegie when he was like young, and Carnegie gave him this
1937.
Carnegie gave him this mission to go and interview like the top 50th successful people in the nation to learn all the secrets from of their success. And I guess like Carnegie never mentioned him or mentioned the mission or something like that. But I mean, it's like regardless if it's true or not, it's a good book. And it does, it does say a lot of things in there that like most people wouldn't be taught, or it would definitely change their paradigm.
I mean, Andrew Carnegie was an interesting person in life if you overlook the massacres he committed.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Yeah, Homestead strike, bringing in the Pinkertons. Who hasn't? Who amongst
They call me Jesse James, bruh.
In order to become rich, you gotta make some tough decisions.
yeah, fire into a crowd of strikers, yeah.
Private business.
Private. I mean, the United States called it a monopoly. They called it enterprise.
Yeah. They called it vertical integration.
Vertical integration, baby. Standard Oil, motherfucker.
You know what though, but
Carnegie
you guys should
Steel.
You guys should get into Zen though. It's pretty.
I mean, like, I'm not going to like fault anyone who tries to, find their own way to inner peace, whether it's Zen, meditation, all that curiosity stuff. I'm not gonna knock anybody do that because, like,
but it's to grow your awareness.
I'm more logic minded, so I don't really
Yeah.
kind of do things like that. But like, whatever finds your way. You only have one life. Might as well spend it happy.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't want people who go full zen. Like they just, it's like them and vegans, bro. Like I just leave me alone. Like let me live my life. I don't need to live yours.
Right. No, but I mean, like, it's I I I guess, like, if you don't come out of it, it'll be a problem, but it's like
People can't turn it off. To
Yeah.
me,
They gotta
zen is a way to be like, hey, it's an inner peace. Like everybody else is outside of you. Like keep it to yourself. Like I think it's supposed to be a personal thing.
yeah, I mean, it's an inner peace, but at the same time, here's the thing, right? Like,
How come everybody I know who's into zen is like broke and a hippie?
no, here's the thing,
because
right?
they are beyond our earthly needs.
Here's the thing. I mean, like Zen, like the whole thing with Zen is like your mind is what causes suffering, right? Most people that quote unquote suffer, it's all in their mind. But when you stop identifying as the mind and you realize that you're not the mind, there's this peace inside of you, like, oh, my mind, like in the beginning stages, you separate yourself from the mind and you just are there, like you are just I'm not the
But you
mind.
are
The
but
mind
you
or
are the mind.
consciousness, you're just a husk. A
No,
corpse.
Yeah,
you're not the mind. That's the thing.
But
you
not.
are.
But your mind and is your consciousness. Like, what are you without it?
This
That's
is
where you lose me. That's where you lose me.
no, you.
I feel like
So
this is like cog propaganda.
no. So like how is
I mean,
it?
they would have liked it back in Napoleon's Hill day.
So how it is explained, right? Is that you are like quote unquote the observer, like you are like a soul, right? And it's basically kind of like internet, right? Like you can have the internet on and then you just get a new laptop or something. And then if the laptop breaks, it doesn't break like the internet connection. Like your brain has an antenna, like your brain is the antenna, right? I know like the scientific thing is that your brain creates consciousness, but I mean consciousness is everything and everywhere.
It's not really observable though. But it's like the
I
same
mean,
people that are just
nobody
like,
understands consciousness
it's.
anyway, so it
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
really like these kind of. I have a thing against these kind of mindsets because it's like, to me, it's like the same as like when evangelicals don't really care what's going on with the planet or what they do because heaven awaits them anyway after they die. So it's like the same thing. Like, you separate your consciousness from yourself. Does that mean like you don't care what happens?
It's
It's
not
too
that
binary. To me,
it's
it's too
not
binary.
it's not that you separate your consciousness from yourself, is you separate your thoughts from you.
How do you separate your thoughts from you? That's do the act
If
of
you
even
By
doing that
by
requires thoughts.
by stop
What?
identifying as the thoughts.
But your thoughts are what makes you you. Like,
No,
even
no.
doing this requires thoughts. You have to think of doing this.
Right. Okay, so like okay, your thoughts are as a tool, right? It's just a product of the brain, right? Just like, your intestines are going, right? Digesting food in your intestines. It's just part of the intestines. Like your heart beating, right? It's just what the heart does. It's the same as just what the brain does. It just makes thoughts. Most of the thoughts that we think of don't even come from us. They're not even original thoughts. They come from the outside. But when you start separating yourself from your thoughts and you realize you stop identifying as your thoughts, right? You create that peace because you just watch the thoughts and they come and go like clouds. You don't hold on to your thoughts because you're
I've
not your
never had a
thoughts.
thought
This
just
sounds like
dictate what I do.
this sounds like go with the flow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's,
like that's pretty much
just live in the moment. It's okay, dude.
You can't own property,
How are you
man.
supposed to know when a thought's valuable? How do you decide that this is a valuable thought versus an invaluable thought?
because you
If you
can
don't
make that
take the time,
decision.
but if you don't take the time to interpret each thought, how do you
You
know the
have
difference?
hold on,
Just
you have
letting them flow.
60,000 thoughts a day. You can't interpret it. You can't interpret 60.
Your brain is totally interpreting all those thoughts, and like that's just an arbitrary number. You just made that up.
No, type that in.
And how do
Type
you
it in
know?
Google. How many
And
thoughts
how
do
do
you
you
have a day?
distinguish
They'll
a
say
thought from
60,000.
instinct?
What's that?
Oh, that's a good
How do you
question.
determine? How do you differentiate thought from instinct?
There's a knowing and then there's a thought, right? The instinct is a knowing.
But what if it's just like,
Well,
you
which
have
comes
your,
from-
you have
which
your
comes
flight
from the
instinct, and
intuition.
it's just like, oh, it's an outside noise.
No, no, that's a good question. The instinct is the knowing, which is the intuition.
But then how do you differentiate intuition from thought?
Because you just know.
But sometimes my thoughts just know.
No, because thinking and knowing are two different things.
So it's really funny if you type in thoughts per day into Google. It's like, oh yeah, average person has approximately 60,000 thoughts per day. The website is peaktachdynamics.net.
Do you think I just
Exactly.
made that? Hold on. Do you think I just made that up?
No,
There was a study in 2020 that says you have typically about 6,000 thoughts per day.
I think
There's a tenfold difference there.
Oh my god.
I'm sure
Oh my
I'm
god.
sure my like ADHD adult brain has like 60,000. We're not accusing you of making this stuff up, dude. People have been having these like ideas forever.
I'm just saying, like, there's got to be a mechanism to interpret it at some level to know whether it's valuable or not. Because if you completely devoid yourself of all thoughts and you separate yourself and you're just like, just let them go, just let them go. Eventually one's going to catch on and then you're going to be like, whoa, why am I putting so much stock into this? Maybe I should let this go.
Yeah, there's like a middleman, which is, reason.
Yeah, it's called your ego.
So you're able to, invest in any thought that you want or let go any thought that you want. You just
Yeah, that's not hard. I feel like you do that all the time. Why do you need Zen to do that?
because you stop identifying as the thoughts.
Who
You figure
I don't
out
know.
who
Maybe this is a personal issue where I've never identified as my thoughts. I've never put so much stock into my thoughts where I'm like, this is me. Like, isn't this where like we come up with like identity politics, right? Like you have to believe in this because you are this person.
I mean, like, but Zen has been around for like thousands of years.
Doesn't mean it's right.
I would say though,
there's been like tens of thousands of religions, and we've kind of collectively determined 3 are the right ones.
So like, I guess you're right. What do I know? I don't know what.
You're not gonna believe this, but the Earth has been around for like billions of years.
Yeah.
Half-life. You have 6 billion. I think it's like what, 6 billion years left of the sun.
That's what they claim. We'll see. I think it's about 8 years according to David Grush.
That's what the government says.
What I read. Yeah.
Unless we come up with like a Dyson thing around our planet.
Dude,
Dyson
the
sphere?
Dyson sphere fires a living sun.
Yeah, you got to go around the sun. It doesn't go around your planet. I don't know.
Think of your solar system encased, It's a cool concept.
I guess they found some.
Yeah, some people see like if you look up at the stars, you'll see some that are flashing.
Yeah.
And some people suspect it might be a Dyson sphere. That's the conspiracy about it.
There's no such thing as a Dyson sphere.
The concept's real. If it's possible, that is yet to be determined. You need like have you ever heard of the Kardashev scale?
Mm-hmm.
I have not.
We're not even
Yes, you have.
one. We're not even a type 1 civilization.
I know. Oh, there we go.
What?
Telling you.
On this. He's just mad that we just debunked his whole Zen thing.
It's not. No, it's because you guys are like. It's just something you don't get. It's something you won't understand because
I totally understand it.
No, you can't understand.
I just kind of disagree with the concept of it.
Because it's really technically not even a concept. It's an awareness.
Maybe I've just always been Zen and I just can't see the other side.
I mean, you could have been born like that. You know, you're right. You could have been. You could have been one of the lucky few that were born Zen and just,
This
like
is
was
him trying to
touched by
say
the
he's the
hand of
Dalai
God
Lama.
right off the rip. You know?
I don't think I've ever identified myself as my thoughts. I mean, I've pursued ideas, but then the question is, where do ideas and thoughts diverge? You know?
It's true.
I think thoughts are your own, but like ideas are like, I mean, obviously ideas would have like an outside influence, right? You're
No, same with
So
thoughts.
who are your
Thoughts
thoughts though?
thoughts have a lot of idea or
That's what I
outside
was gonna say. By
influence.
his definition, your thoughts come from the outside.
But
So, like, how do you differentiate between a thought and an idea? A lot of people consider them one and the same.
I don't know. I feel like thoughts would have is more.
I would say an idea is inspiration. You were inspired.
Yeah,
You had an eureka moment.
and that's usually determined by an outside factor.
No, that's probably where the flash of insight comes from the inside. It's a knowing.
It's a knowing, but like when you have an idea, like let's say like my idea for the USB, I saw an issue and I want to fix it. That's what popped in an idea. You know, it was an outside influence.
But you get ideas all the time, right? Like,
Yeah.
but so is a thought just say like, "Hey, I got to take a piss," or is it also like, "Huh, that's interesting. Why is that green?" Or is that an idea? You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, how
why
about
does that
this?
feel like that? Why are my senses interpreting it like this?
Okay, have you ever just gone to wash the dishes and then you just think of something?
Yeah.
Like, say you're washing the
Okay.
dishes and then you like a memory comes up of you like 5 years ago and you're like
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
driving.
Now we're getting into memories. That's a whole different field of thought.
No, it's not like no, because this is what I'm trying to explain what Zen is. It's like you can't like bringing your focus in the present moment instead of either in the past or in the future. Like when you're in the present moment, that's like it breaks the mode of thinking from like future and the past of just create of breaking all the thinking concepts.
Okay, I guess then my question would be, what is the evolutionary value of that? If you can't
So
learn from your past and if you can't work to predict your own future, which is what you do most of the time,
I'm not, but you're coming at me like it's either one or the other. It's not. It's just noticing it, not getting stuck in it, and then still staying present. You get what I'm saying? Like, what good is it washing the dishes and then you think of something 5 years ago, driving in a car, going, "Oh yeah, hey," right?
because your brain has the time to process it because it's not heavily taxing on your mind when you're washing the dishes, right? You don't have to overly think it, so your brain has time to begin to process
But why don't you
potential
just bring your
memories
fo-
or other information
Why don't you just focus on washing the dishes?
because you don't need to focus on it. It's not heavily taxing.
But see,
It's easy.
that's where the awareness comes from, right? You want to break that autopilot mode and you want to be aware, focused, present.
Do you want to on simple tasks?
Yes,
Why? What's the
because you
benefit?
because you're more present and your mind isn't you put your mind away. You put your thoughts away. You
What's
put
the
your mind
benefit of
away.
that?
The benefit is like, okay, so think about it, right? Like, say if you're chopping carrots and then you think of something stupid and then you chop your finger off, you're not present, you're on autopilot, right? Don't give me that. That happens to a lot of people all the time. Happens to a lot of people all the time. They're just not thinking. They're not in the moment. They're not being present. The more times that you bring your focus to the present, right? And you turn off your brain, so to speak, for a little bit, it becomes sharper. You get more rest. You know what I mean? It just you use it
That's
as a tool. You use it as a
you're
tool.
implying like I feel like you're inferring the fact that like I'm not using this is therefore resting. I don't
No,
know if that's always the case.
a lot of people, I would say a lot of people, they would say like people, like you said, ADHD, right? Their mind is always going. Turn it off. And the way to do that is by being present.
But why turn it off? Where's the benefit of always turning it off? Like look at
Because
somebody like Elon Musk talks about how his brain's going a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
He's one of the richest men in the world because of that. So you tell me, if he had turned it off back in the day, where would he be right now?
Probably even richer.
You're just saying that.
No, probably even richer. I'm telling you. I bet
How
you-
so?
But then because when you turn it off for a little bit, you can use it more as a tool. It doesn't run you. You might be even more happier or something. I bet you he does have some type of Zen technique because he talks about like, oh, like,
I mean, he's a tech CEO. They usually all do.
you know what I mean? So like, I bet you he does. But yeah, I don't know what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
No, I guarantee you.
Those damn thoughts, dude.
What were we thinking? What were we talking about before Elon Musk?
Your whole thing about how turning your brain off makes it better and more useful as a tool.
Yeah, for when you need it. Because oh yeah, because what happens to people that typically overthink, right? They get, they run down like I'm sure you see it a lot. Like people that tend to overthink, they become they have anxiety or they suffer from depression. They suffer from some mental illness. This all stems from just overthinking. Wouldn't you
Or
say?
could overthinking be a symptom of the illness? Like, what if it's the other way around?
Maybe it's one and the same.
That's possible too. I don't know. I
Right.
just feel like we like to think of these as like separate things when I think everything's just so interconnected. It's not a binary thing. Like you
It's
can't just
not a
turn off your brain.
Well, no, technically you can't. That's why you don't identify. You stop identifying as your thoughts.
Yeah, but they use the word identify all the time.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the wrong word to use.
No, it's no, that's what it is because
Because identifying means, hey, this is my identity. Whatever
Yeah.
I'm thinking right now is me. I
yeah.
don't think most people feel that way.
I would disagree with you because we literally just talked about this for like 10, 15 minutes and you're like, I don't think you're like,
But like nobody's like every thought I have is everything I believe. Because people question themselves all the time, right? I'm saying
Yeah.
you can't exist without your thoughts. Your thoughts make up who you are, but not every thought is your essence. Because we're always interpreting the world around us, right? And we take that
Right.
interpretation and then that becomes who we are. And via thoughts, we can have these interpretations of the world around us to create our sense of self. And if you get rid of those thoughts, now you're not interpreting anything. Therefore, how can you be who you are?
because you're still conscious. Because okay, so like you
But
can
what if consciousness requires thought?
it doesn't.
We don't know that.
Well,
That was a
okay.
blanket statement you just completely said
In Zen,
for no reason.
okay, so in Zen it says you could be conscious and not think, but you can't think and be conscious.
How is that even remotely? I saw you question as soon as you said that. I saw you question yourself.
Because it's not. That's probably like not what verbatim what they said, but it's similar like that, right? I don't know. I haven't. I stopped the Zen thing for like a couple years, so I'm out of it.
Are you
So
using
Yeah,
this to
that's
write
pretty
your new
obvious.
album?
Yes, I have to be.
S is writing an album.
I'm gonna make a music album. One of the best. I mean, like, listen. We only have
I hope
one
there's no
life.
thought going in that album.
If we only have one life,
Making the beats, baby.
we have to make. We have to do the legacy. We have to leave a legacy.
You
Yeah.
have to leave a legacy.
What if your legacy is your thoughts?
That's
On
called a
paper.
philosopher.
Ooh.
Whoa! But wait a minute.
Way. No way. But hold
Then
on, though.
maybe
I mean,
Zen.
like, but seriously though, like, if your focus is on the future, right? You're probably gonna suffer from anxiety. Like, if you're overthinking,
I think there's a difference between being separate from your thoughts and introducing calmness into your life and giving yourself a chance to relax.
You said it's different? I mean, like, it probably is there. I mean, people
Yeah,
take drugs
yeah,
to calm
it's
down.
I mean, some people just like can like, all right, I just need to chill and not think. I get that. I understand that. But when you talk about Zen and you're separating yourself because you feel like these thoughts are bad for you, to me that's a whole separate thing.
I never said that they were, like, bad for you. They're not bad.
Well, you kind of imply it because you're saying, "Hey, you want to separate yourself." If you want to separate yourself from something, it's because it's harmful to yourself.
Thoughts I
Aren't
mean,
you
thoughts
implying? Aren't you kind of implying that?
thought no, thoughts aren't good or bad, they're just thoughts.
Then why separate yourself if they're not good or bad? Like, what's the point of
Because
separation?
when then you do identify yourself as the thoughts, then they become good and bad.
So now they're bad because you have
When you
attached meaning
identify
to them.
Yeah, when you attach yourself to the thoughts.
You're going down a really deep rabbit hole here.
How? I mean, like, you're asking the question and I'm answering them. What are you talking
I
about?
because I'm watching you right now, and I don't even know if you believe what you're
No,
saying.
100%, like, no. Alright, thoughts aren't good or bad, but when you identify or are attached to those thoughts, then they start becoming good or bad.
Okay. But if you never attach yourself to these thoughts, then how are you going
Which
to be able to distinguish between their good or bad thoughts?
when you are attached,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when
Like
you're
I'm
at
saying, no, no. If you are always detached from your thoughts and you're
right.
always in a state of Zen, how, when you do become attached to your thoughts, are you able to distinguish between good and bad thoughts if you've never had the opportunity to think?
Well, I mean, like, you use thinking, you would just use it as a tool. I mean, it's just a thought. You don't give it any judgment behind it. You just, "Oh, well, that didn't work out. I'll try a
Oh,
different."
I killed that guy. I don't feel any better. I guess it didn't
Yeah.
work out.
Well, I mean, why do you go to the extreme of killing the guy? I was thinking about making a sandwich or something.
But that would work out because that now you're satiating something.
Well, I mean, like, no, how do you know? Maybe I'm like, "Oh, let me try Miracle Whip instead of mayonnaise. Oh, you know what? The sandwich wasn't
Are we
even that
getting
good."
what is this, like a 20-year-old
But I'm
thing?
just well, you went straight to killing. What are you talking about?
Mayonnaise versus Miracle Whip? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, talking about something little, and you're over. Maybe I should rob this guy or something. No, no. Why? I got everything I need. I'm abundant. That's
Now you're abundant. I don't think abundance has anything to do with Zen, does it?
it does because it does. Because when you separate yourself from your thoughts, right? Like,
Is there a book of Zen?
yeah,
All
it's
right, I'm
called
gonna look it
Eckhart
up.
Tolle, or it's by
No, it's not Eckhart Tolle. No, no, no,
it's
no, no.
by Eckhart Tolle called The Power of Now.
That's not Zen.
Gonna
Yeah,
love your
huh?
boy
I
Eckhart
want
Tolle.
legitimate traditional Zen, not some white dude's version of Zen.
He's from Germany.
Yeah, he's from Germany. He's a national, man.
What did I say? White guy's version of Zen. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's
Let
see.
me
Here we go.
check.
Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind by uh Shunryu Suzuki. This is what I want right here. Yep. Yep. Yeah. I'm not gonna look up Eckhart Tolle or any of those guys. I want legitimate old school Zen.
He wants someone straight out of Crouching Tiger.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Dude, if it makes you feel any better,
Yeah.
Eckhart Tolle's wife is not white.
Oh no, she's not. But I mean, like, there's so many.
He is
Hold
Canadian,
on.
though.
Dude, the fact that there's a colored picture of this guy Eckhart Tolle makes me not want to read his book about Zen.
There's a colored pic.
It's not in black and white. The dude was born in 1948, dude. He's still. What are we even talking about? Oh my gosh,
There's
I'm
some
out of.
okay people that are still alive. Like I like Noam Chomsky.
Nah, that guy's a real douche.
Hold on, I got
Talk
some.
about an ego. Jesus Christ.
I think his political insight is very knowledgeable.
I think his local insight is incredibly short sighted, and
All right. Here's a good one. The Three Pillars of Zen by Roshi Philip Kapila. Three Pillars of Zen.
Wait, his middle name's Philip.
Yeah, but his first name is Roshi.
I'm
Master
out. I'm
Roshi.
out, dude. No, you're losing it.
You're stereotyping right now.
Hold on.
Yeah, of course I am. Okay. All right.
Something
No,
from,
I'm finding
the
it.
8th Dalai Lama or something.
Yeah, dude, I want to read like, Miyamoto Musashi kind of stuff. Like I'm looking for the Five Rings kind of stuff.
Five Rings, good one.
Well, I mean, like
Good.
if you understand, like Michael A. Singer,
Dude,
he's not white.
the ones I like the most are like
He's black. I don't know what's the difference.
dude, I like the greats, like Friedrich Nietzsche or like I like Emerson. I think he's really good.
Nietzsche's all right.
Who's the dude who lived in the woods for a while?
That's Marish.
Waldo?
that-
I thought it was Emerson. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
I was thinking it was Emerson, but is it him?
All right, dude. There's John Kabat-Zinn. John Kabat-Zinn, with the book "Wherever You Go, There You Are."
Dude, if you want to read a good economics book, man, there's this guy. His name is Karl Marx. There's a Das Kapital.
No, I think I found some books I'm going to read on Zen. I found Zen Buddhism, a History. I'm going to read that. Volume 1, India and China.
Those are the best. Those are the best. It's just a
I'm not
translation.
going to read The Three Pillars of Zen by Philip Kapillau.
You know what? Since this is Back Society, should we read Atlas Shrugged?
How can you not read The Three Pillars of Zen, bro? But the thing is,
I'm not against the Atlas Shrugged thing.
I feel like
kinda down for that.
you might get mixed up in like
do
the
have it somewhere.
translations.
Would you say?
You might get mixed up in like the wording. You know what I mean?
No, poor translations. This is possible.
Yeah.
Bro, this
well,
guy, Philip Kapillau, was born in Connecticut, in New Haven.
Is he white?
Probably. It's Connecticut.
Yeah.
He might be
his name
Indian.
is Philip Kapillau. No. Let's see. Early life. Born in New Haven, Connecticut. Worked as a bookkeeper. Something about Nazi Germany.
What?
Pause for a minute.
He served as the chief Allied court reporter for the trial of major war criminals before the International Military Tribunal, which judged the leaders of Nazi Germany.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, he's a white motherfucker.
How do you know white people aren't the most zen?
Yeah.
I would not be allowed to say that because that would be racist and cultural appropriation, probably. I didn't say that.
Oh my god.
He said I didn't say that.
But maybe.
But maybe.
I don't know. Have you guys okay, this is a little bit of pop culture. I know I sent you it, but you've heard of I don't know if you keep tabs on like the new game that's coming out for Assassin's Creed. It's called Shadows.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you get to play as like Yasuke and shit.
Yeah, Yasuke.
Yeah.
And then the chick, whatever her name is, I can't remember.
It's like Nobu or something. But there was a lot of Japanese experts really pissed off about. You'll notice
Really?
they weren't
people
Japanese.
People are pissed.
You'll notice the 99% of them hail from a certain ethnicity. the premier Japanese experts from Kansas.
Japan. They're all from Japan, right?
I would say most are like Missouri, maybe some Kansas.
That sounds Missouri. Omaha.
But you'd be surprised. There was a lot of people who are just like, as a resident, they'll have like the weeb profile picture. They'll have like the rising sun flag, and they're from like London.
Well, I mean, isn't there like a lot of dispute about like Yasuke and like who he really was and whether or not he was actually a samurai?
There's a lot of dispute because there's not much about him. He was
It's a cool idea though. Like I feel like it just be a
Oh,
fun game.
yeah. It's a fun game. He's a legend, you know, in every way. That's just it. He's just a legendary figure.
Yeah.
But people were pissed. I think it's kind of cool, personally.
I think the argument could be made that maybe he's just more of a legend in the West than in like Japan. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
people are trying to identify something that's like different and like blah blah blah.
I would say, yeah, I would say it's about half. It's not like there's Japanese media is devoid of depicting him as a samurai. They actually have depicted him as a samurai many times in Japan.
But then they also kind of depict him as more of like a servant.
No, like there's a couple, like I know a few. They actually have an anime that's about him, which was really bad. Don't ever watch it. There's
Yeah,
a
but
couple.
Samuel L. Jackson,
No. Oh, you're thinking of no, not that one.
Afro,
Afro
whatever
Samurai.
it's
That was
called.
cool, but that wasn't
Yeah.
him. He actually has an anime just called Yasuke. It was really weird.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I was just kidding.
A lot of games and novels he's depicted as a samurai. There was even a Japanese play where he's depicted as a samurai.
And he wasn't a samurai?
Nobody knows. Yeah.
No one knows for sure. There's a lot of translations that can mean a lot of things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
Dope.
it's
Because
just
he was like a slave in Mozambique, right? And he was like on a ship with one of the early explorers, and he just ended up staying there, right? Yeah.
yeah. And then Nobunaga, the
Oda Nobunaga.
Oda Nobunaga, yeah, the one of the early unifiers.
Yep.
Really like
The early unifier.
He said, "Hey, guns, it's pretty cool," and then shot up a bunch of people.
Oh wow.
He was a brutal guy.
Trailblazer.
He was a trailblazer. There was a lot of trails he blazed.
Yeah.
But yeah, he took an interest in him, but Yasuke disappeared after Oda Nobunaga was assassinated.
Yeah, and like Yasuke, like they said, like they tried to wash his skin because they'd never seen a black person before, and they thought he was like painted or tattooed.
Mm-hmm. It's a very cool
story. It's an interesting story. Probably less significant than most people would probably give credit to.
Well, I would say it's less significant than, let's say, like William Adams.
Yeah. Or Oda Nobunaga.
I mean, yeah, Oda is a giant legendary figure in itself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I think it's a cool footnote of history, but I'm not saying I don't think there's any real
significant because the whole what was it called, the Sengoku period or whatever. He was the one that really kicked that one off, and then it ended with like Tokugai Ieyasu, being the first shogun.
There was so much history in Japan.
There's a lot of violent history.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of violent history.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very violent.
A lot of clans. I feel like if I was in Japan at that time, I would be
Zen.
Yeah.
You would be a warrior monk?
No, he would just be a little baby bitch on top of a mountain.
No.
Your thoughts, bro. Your thoughts.
As someone who has dove a little bit into Japanese history, you wouldn't want to be a monk.
No, but I mean, like you could.
Monk.
What's his name? Modi. Who wrote the 5 Book of Rings?
Miyamoto Musashi.
Yeah, he
Book
would
of
say
Rings.
he would say the same thing that I'm saying.
I would be Masamu.
No, he was more about being a well-rounded individual. You had to be able to write poetry. You had to be able to do art. You had to be a swordsman. You had to be chivalrous. If anything, I would say thoughts and ideas consumed you because you needed to be able to express those thoughts in multiple different ways.
Nah, dude.
Via art.
Nah, dude. Because I read his book and I remember it was
Me too.
He just
I listened to it very, very recently, within the last 6 months.
All I know is I would probably be Masamune.
I think I would be.
It says expand the dude.
Attention. Dude, I don't know. I mean, I liked Saito. I thought he was the man.
Nah, Kenshin by far. The
Son
Batosai.
of the Wolf of Mibu.
I started rewatching those movies. Even Mary liked them. She was like, "Yeah, it's not bad. I kind of this is."
Samurai X was fucking lit though.
Yeah, dude,
That
I'm
was the
telling
best-
you.
that was a great live action, man. I was
So
watching
good.
it with my girlfriend. I was just like, I already knew what the ending was, and so when that one girl got involved, I was like, oh no, oh not this bad.
Oh man, it's so good though. It's so good.
This
The anime is good too, man. It holds up.
It is good. It is good. Too bad we're never going to get any more of it.
Yeah, not with that pedophile.
Yeah, the pedophile.
Wow, we really circle back to pedophiles. That's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, like the dude got caught with so much.
We went through all of history and got back to pedophiles.
Certified pedophile.
You know what though? I bet if he was Zen, no pedophilia.
None. He should have been Zen.
He would not have been his thoughts. Yeah.
It wouldn't have been his thoughts, man.
His own thought.
If he was just focused on the moment, reflected the stillness, dude, messed up.
I got a lot of
Yeah, and you should reread. Yeah, hold on, you're muted. You're
Muted.
Yeah.
Oh,
Muted.
sorry, I must have hit it. Am I still muted?
Yeah, and you should reread the 5 Book of Rings.
No, the Book of Five Rings.
Yeah, what did I say?
Musashi's pissed, man. He's rolling in his grave.
The Book of 5 Rings. You should reread it.
I'm gonna debunk all of Zen.
Now that you have some
Dude,
type
Scott,
of awareness,
pull back,
Zen.
dude. Half the screen is just your face right now.
now that you have some awareness of Zen, reread the book.
I think you should reread the Book of Five Rings and look at it from a non-Zen point of view and see how it's all about expression of thought.
I literally just hit play for 1 second and it said expanding the spirit. I mean, like, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to read.
That's expression.
I'm going to read the Book of Five Rings, and then I'm going to compare it to real philosophers born here in America.
Wait, give me a list.
Was that a dig?
No. Why would it be a dick? See, we need Eckhart Tolle in there. Real.
Was he born in America? I thought you said he was German.
He was German.
Sorry, German, but I think his wife is Japanese. So
no Nazis. No Nazis allowed.
Did Nazis have philosophers or just evil doctors?
Or evil rocket scientists.
Evil. Hey,
Werner von Braun
got us to the moon.
Still a Nazi. Still a Nazi.
He never made it. He never made it through the firmament. There's no way. I've seen some pretty compelling evidence that the firmament is real and the Earth is flat.
Are you talking about flat Earth? I was about to say, dude. Are you saying like the whole
you don't know about the
was just a
firmament?
Nazi conspiracy? Werner von Braun's just like NASA will make it. I swear, we'll make it.
You guys
Nazi.
don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
It's cool.
Werner von Braun, father of NASA.
Still a Nazi.
I get
the
that.
fact that I'm
used to be a
7
Nazi.
hours ahead of you.
I'm not the one who decided Operation Paperclip over here. Okay.
I don't care. Still a Nazi.
We had more scientists than just Werner von Braun. Okay.
And they were still Nazis.
But you said he was the father of NASA.
He was.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Who else would you credit NASA to?
Nazi aerospace.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's what
Association.
NASA really means. NASA, Nazi, 4 letters. Weird.
Yeah. He's like, it's NASA. And they're like, NASA? That's weird.
So, okay. Should he have been tried at Nuremberg? Absolutely. But he didn't. He wasn't.
Dude, did you know they all had like scars on their face?
Yeah, he had a dueling scar. Yeah.
Yo. Not just him, but it was like other like rocket scientists.
They would get the dueling scar and they would pack it with like cotton to make it seem bigger.
Why did they do that again? There was like
the Nazis were very occultish. They're weird.
Yeah.
Like look at like the Fool Society or like what the SS were doing in their stupid little castle.
It was all about status.
And most of those
they just thought it looked badass.
Most of those engineers, like even Werner von Braun, they were part of the Schutzstaffel.
Mm-hmm. True. Facts. Gotta be careful saying it out here.
I bet you do.
We're telling you.
Oh yeah, dude.
bet
Yeah,
you
oh
do.
my god.
I bet you do.
We were on vacation.
We were all, yeah. Did you hear? It was like a few years ago. Someone found Reinhard Heydrich's grave and dug him up.
What? Where?
It was. It's in Berlin.
Huh.
He's in the
I
same
didn't hear that.
cemetery that Richthofen is in. You know, the Red Baron.
Mm-hmm.
Someone dug him
I'll have to
up.
look it up.
Can you imagine?
I thought you were gonna say he was in like Argentina or something, but
No, Reinhard died in like 41. He never had a chance.
you never know. He could have been there to start the colony.
No, that's what was that? That's like Eichmann, Mengele. Some people think Martin Bormann was
Mengele.
there. Mengele.
Yeah, Borman. Yeah,
Have you-
definitely Mengele.
Definitely Mengele was there. Yeah, because we
Yeah.
have his body. So
He's a
right.
piece of shit.
huge.
All
piece of
right.
shit. All right. That's all the time we have left. Thank you so much for watching Backside. This is Jay signing off.
This is S.
This is C Euro, baby.
And hopefully we'll see C next week and not he's not persecuted for talking about this.
Hey.